Okay, I think let me check and see online if it's working. Okay. Working. Yeah, sweet. I can see that little artifact up there. Okay, so let me try that. Perfect. Okay. This one. Yeah, that one. So the high keys are working. All right. Working. So this is a. Oh, yeah. Sweet. That desktop audio. Okay, that's better. All right, so this is the gem that I just finished. I just posted about it. It's a 40. It ended up at 47 carats. It's a Chonker blue ruby, and this is cut in synthetic spinel or lab spinel. So now that's been on my main machine for about 6 months because we moved, so it's just been hanging out there. I have a second machine I've been cutting on, but I think this is probably, well, actually I can just show you in GCS. So the thing I want to do now is pick the material and design I'm going to cut next. So if we go over here, like this, so this is a design I did recently. I've never cut this kind of outline before. It's a coffin cut outline. So if I go in here, I designed this for EAG, so I don't know that's what I'm going to cut it in. But let's go, I want to go through some materials under my microscope here, which unfortunately the color is off a little bit, but you can kind of get the idea of what we might choose for, oops. Let's do that, okay. What we might choose for the rough. So since it's a coffin, it's kind of a longer shape. This is a similar type of blue spinel. It's called mermaid blue spinel. That one's a good candidate. This one seems good also. This color is really not great. This is kind of like a dusky purple, which you can't really tell here. But that's a good coffin shape. The candidates for natural stones. I haven't looked at it at lower RIs, but this could be a candidate. This is a, oops, this is like a green tourmaline, which would look nice. I also have this sort of reddish tourmaline. I have, this is called sunset tourmaline. I'm not sure why, but also kind of greenish. I have a green zircon, which I think would be about the right size. This would be higher RI, so that would be nice. Yeah, these are kind of showing up more saturated than they actually are in real life and more green. So that one's like kind of a challenging shape. It has that bite out of it. So probably not a good candidate. And then some of the other synthetic choices is this material, which I don't remember what it is. I think it's just something with high dispersion, so it'd be really sparkly, even though it's colorless. This one's called Zombie Garnet, which seems like the obvious choice, honestly. I'm just not sure if it'll be too saturated. But it's kind of got like a hazy green, kind of creepy color. Not as intense as you can see right here, but so, and then I have a few other materials that I'm not too hot on, but I think for me it's between like a green tourmaline and, oh, I forgot I had these also. Hold on. These are my rescues here. I do have another natural tourmaline. This is actually one I dug it myself. It's pretty included. You can see I actually started cutting the top. I never finished it. So that's a candidate. There's some recut candidates here. I don't know where they went. Oh, here we go. So this is I could recut this natural sphene. It's kind of got the same kind of zombie vibes going on. This is another zircon, kind of like a champagne zircon. Alrighty, well, I was going for LUAG, and that's what I designed it for. So I'm tempted to do that. We could look at what it would look like at sunstone, because I also have some Oregon sunstones here. They're like kind of the right proportions. This one kind of has some, it's kind of dual color, green and, reddish. So that might be kind of cool. Kind of got like a little watermelon effect going there. Let's see here. Well, let's see what it'll look like in lower RI, because go back to GCS here. And boom. There we go. So this is a preview of it in LUAG, which I think is about the same refractive index as YAG. Basically the same. So the other options I had were some synthetic sapphire, which might be nice, some spinel. I'm just showing the colorless versions here. Spinel also be nice. Tourmaline. You probably get some cool colors. It's a very deep cut, as you can see here. There's these big. These are going to be rough to cut. These are 70 degrees. But they're kind of like a Barian facet. I really wanted to do this brilliant pattern on the bottom. So I'm tempted to go with something light, and I guess we can look at sunstone too. What does sunstone look like? It's just barely hanging in there. It's getting a little windowy. I guess we could look at topaz too. I have a bunch of big pieces of topaz. Tourmaline. Yeah, I think it's going to be between tourmaline. Let me take a closer look at this tourmaline. Have and the shape. It is a weird shape. I think I really should just go with synthetic, because otherwise I'll just mess up the piece of natural rough that I'm thinking about using. So let's rule out natural stuff, unless it's, really affordable. So I think the answer is, I don't know why, but I think, let me switch back to this view really quick. I didn't show this one. There we go. But this CZ that's like I think it's called papaya. I don't know. I feel like that might be nice. There's also this really light green one. It doesn't look that green. Whoops. It doesn't look that green in real life. So these are kind of my choices here for synthetics. I have other ones. Whoops. Let's actually get all these in frame. Which one seems light enough and like a coffin? I just feel like that's too dark. This is probably also too dark. Maybe let's go with this light green. Yeah, that seems like the way to go. It's either this one or this one. Thing is with this guy, if we look at size here, you see it's about 12, a little over 12 millimeters for this design. That means if we do 12 divided by 1.3, be not just over 9 millimeters. Is that right? Yeah. So it'd be 9 wide, about that long, but more likely it'd probably be 8 wide by like 10 or 11. I think it has the depth. This was kind of my original hope that I would use this, so let's just go ahead and try it. Otherwise I'll never use this zombie garnet. So this is YAG, so it's actually going to be it's going to be this stuff right here. I'll change it to the actual YAG, even though we don't have color in there, although I could kind of simulate it. It's kind of like a yellowish green. Maybe with like some cloudiness in it. Maybe a little darker. Maybe that's what it'll look like. Cool. So let's just save this as, let's see. I have a folder for this, so we'll do zombie. We'll just save a version that we can tweak for this. So another thing that I might do here is round out these. It looks like the crown I already did this on, but I wonder if I can round out these a little better. I mean, they're pretty good actually. Some of these there's not really much you can do. 42, 41.65. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it with the original, and I'll get this topped up. But that's it for the stream. Here, I don't know if this is any better than seeing it here, but you know what might be fun is to just go through some of the tools here. So for fun, you can go into this optimizer and you can look at different, sort of like performance graphs. If you stretch the pavilion or the crown, I think this one's pretty good. I mean, if you see in the preview, get this versus this, I think this one has a better contrast. But this is another cool one, is this size yield calculator. So let's say we went with, what did we say? We said 9 width or 8 width. And if we did, let's see. Actually, let me look up the specific gravity of YAG. Okay, about 4.5. So it doesn't really matter what we put here. We just need to change this to 4.5. That's pretty close. So at 8 with, that's pretty, the crown to width ratio is pretty low, but that'll make it perform better, I'm sure. The height's not too bad, so we can get above 3 carats, it looks like. Between 3 and 4 carats is the estimated yield. And if we go to our cutting assistant, this is kind of fun. It walks you through like how you would be cutting it on the machine. So you cut this first here. Then up here we have 2 facets which are like preform facets. Another 2 over here. Then we cut in the sides, 96 and 48, so this establishes our length. And then we meet these meet points up here. And level the girdle, level the girdle. Let's go back one. And on this one you can see we meet this, we're meeting down here, and level the girdle. And finish leveling these, oops. No, actually do this, okay. So we have, this is kind of interesting how this worked out. These two meet up here and these two meet all the way up here. Or maybe it's just these two meet. I'll have to look at this again here. Yeah, because then we come up like that. Like that. We just add some extra fun stuff. So that finishes the pavilion. Then we move to the crown. Establish our girdle. Do a step, it looks like. Do some meet points, more meet points, and the table. Okay, well, boom, there you go. All right, so that is going to, oh, I've been showing the wrong thing. Let's see here. Let's go back to the screen. I was showing the wrong screen that time, the whole time. So, design session. This is what should have been up. So again, just to run through the cutting system, because it's kind of cool visually. You can see we establish a culet point, mute the culet, set the length, get our outline shape, and we level the girdle, establish our final culet point, and add some more facets in. That finishes the pavilion. Then we move to the top and establish the girdle. And then we do a single step above that. Have some more meet points, and the crown, or sorry, the table. And that's the finished gem. I'm hoping that, yeah, that's all visible. That's good. Cool. All right, well, that will do it. I'm going to get this piece of zombie garnet topped up, and I'll be cutting this design hopefully soon. That will end my first GCS stream.